Hi everybody, this is the Patriot Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Patriot Hood. Hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't know about me, I had a channel which was called the Patriot, but before that it was called the Capitol Hut. And what I wanted to talk about back then was what was going on with the election, all the sort of shenanigans that happened, all the sort of what I thought was cheating. A lot of people thought that the Biden administration and the deep state and globalists cheated to put Biden in place, and they tried to destroy the country for 4 years. And it affected that channel. Now, the channel changed. I did different things with it after that because I was a little nervous about getting the platform to completely off this, get completely, totally deplatformed off because I had the baseball head and I didn't want it to get crushed. But I had done a couple of live streams. One was on January 21st, January 20, 2021, where I was covering the rally that President Trump was having in Washington, where he was talking to people and stuff. And that video, that live stream got taken down by YouTube, and I got a community strike on the channel. And that was a community strike I had on the channel for about a year or so, and I think they took it off. I don't remember now. I deleted the channel. But also, I had done a live stream that summer, I believe, or maybe the following year, where Alex Jones was on with, I guess it was Nerdrotic. And I was just covering his appearance on there because he was deplatformed off of YouTube. I wonder if he can go back on YouTube now after this kind of thing that was revealed. Everybody knew this at the time. But I had that live stream was basically slowed down and basically shut down by YouTube, to where I couldn't talk about his deplatforming off of, and the censorship put on him. That's real censorship right there. Where the government's colluding with a corporation and it shuts you down from talking. Not what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel got put back on because he probably was threatening ABC, or whatever the hell he knows about Disney and Bob Iger and all this stuff. And the Democrats put a lot of pressure on Bob Iger to get him back on the air. They couldn't afford to lose him. In terms of on the air, they lost Stephen Colbert. They weren't going to lose Kimmel too in a short amount of time. But we have big news on YouTube. And I guess a lot of people are going to be able to come back on the platform, which is great to see. We need freedom of speech, and that's what censorship is. It's not, there's nonsense about, about Kimmel. Kimmel's a nobody. At the end of the day, he's not that important, in my opinion. But here we have from the Gateway Pundit, breaking, YouTube capitulates, will allow reinstatement of accounts banned for election and COVID-19 violations. Now, there is another YouTuber called Doug Tenaple, who I knew. He had a channel that was taken down because he was talking about the election of 2021. Will that channel be allowed to come back? Because he had over 500,000 subscribers on there. He does have a big channel now, which was the second channel that got skadooshed because he did not, I don't know what happened there. But that first channel was a really great channel, and he did a lot of good work, and it was a lot of fun amongst, the things that he does politically. But that channel was taken down completely. I wonder if he'll be able to get that channel back. Because he lost a lot of revenue from that channel. That he was making $1 million at one point. Because he had showed me, he told me. So, but let me read the article. Representative Jim Jordan took to X today to announce that Google has capitulated on its draconian censorship rules over the past several years and has vowed to reinstate previously banned accounts on the YouTube platform. Representative Jordan wrote, "Due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform." In follow-up post to X, Representative Jordan reveals some of the specific details. For example, YouTube admits the Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong, and confirms the Biden administration wanted Americans censored for speech that did not violate YouTube's policies. It's crazy. Just absolutely insane. This is what YouTube states. Quote, senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-violative user-generated content. As online platforms grapple with these decisions, the administration's officials, including Biden himself, create a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. It is unacceptable and wrong when any government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates content, and the company has consistently fought against those efforts on First Amendment grounds. YouTube went on to vow that no matter the political atmosphere, they will continue to enable free expression on its platform. Yeah, we'll see. While claiming they expanded its approach to educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic content on its platform. In doing so, they acknowledged that their terminated channels are violating its community guidelines on election integrity content through 2023 and COVID-19 content through 2024, and provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election integrity policies that are no longer in effect. This is a letter from Chairman Jordan. Should I read it? It's a lot. I'm not going to read it. I'll put the link in the description of this video on this article. On his first day in office, President Trump, Executive Order 15149, restored freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. The executive order directed all federal agencies to refrain from and corrected any past actions involving unconstitutional censorship of Americans, while directing the Attorney General to investigate any federal censorship over the past 4 years. Recently, President Trump and administration officials have raised concerns over Section 230, a provision in the Communications Decency Act of 1996 that shields online platforms from liability based on content created by third-party users. Quote, with calls focused on amending this section, social media platforms could potentially face lawsuits over defamation and harmful and/or illegal material posted to their platforms. This would likely lead to much stricter censorship rather than freedom of speech. Perhaps those insinuations were the proverbial shot over the bow to rein in a one-sided provision that affords private companies freedom from liability while still allowing them complete control and moderation over free constitutional speech. Either way, this is a massive victory for President Trump's efforts to rein in the censorship regime, which is good. Like I said, the original Patriot Hut was censored. I was censored. And it basically told me I can't talk about this stuff because I wanted to talk about it. And I didn't want to get the platform totally off of YouTube because I had 2 channels that were already monetized at the time. And I didn't want to lose that money because I had a goal of getting myself a home and a house with that money. So I didn't want to play around with this because I knew if I did, I would get censored like Doug Tenable did. To be honest with you, that's why I did what I did, because I was concerned that I was going to get the platform completely off of here, and I didn't want to lose that revenue. And this is easy revenue, to be honest with you. Now this channel's not monetized. The other channel wasn't monetized, and they attacked. They took it down. They took the those live streams down. And I that wasn't something I wanted to see happen to myself, is get completely taken off the platform. That's why I haven't talked about this stuff for many years. And I love to talk about what happened in the election and 4 years ago, or 5 years ago now. Because that's important to talk about it. You don't want to see this ever. You don't want to ever see this happen again, where they're doing all this nonsense in the middle of the night, all the different ballots and all this stuff. Doing it in the dark of night. You don't want to see that happen again, and it shouldn't happen. But this is what Democrats do, and that's what they've done. But at the same time, they had no problem doing this. They're covering their ass because Biden's not around anymore, and that's why they're all sort of capitulating to Trump and bowing down to him. To be honest with you, if Trump hadn't got reelected and that wacko, and she is nuts, folks. I'll say it. She's crazy. If Harris had been in there, well, first of all, the world would be in bad. It would be in shambles. There would have been a nuclear explosion somewhere in the world if she was president. That no doubt in my mind. And if she was still around, if she were here and she was in that administration, a lot of channels would be gone, and a lot of creators would be in prison right now, would be in jail, just due to the fact that they were going up against her. She would have brought it down 10 times worse would have been 10 times worse than anything you could possibly imagine. But this is a good thing. And hopefully we can be able to talk about whatever we want to talk about here. But thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Patriot Hut. Long live the Patriot Hut, and I'll see you later.